The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. W's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by W, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. W's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. W Energy, be better. Are you a fellow car guy? I have a 2008 Ford Mustang GT convertible, and nothing makes me happier in that car than when it's nice and clean. You know who helps me get there? RevAutoCarCare.com. They help me get that pony looking as nice and shiny and ready for any of the car meetups that are all around the great city of El Paso. Spoil your car and go to RevAutoCarCare.com/Tipton and view all the inventory they have and find out what works for you to help make your ride shine. RevAutoCarCare.com/Tipton. Use promo code Tipton33 at checkout to save 15%. We all know there's hundreds of betting sites out there, but don't be fooled. Some sites are legal in some states only. Some sites pay in Bitcoin, and some sites have even been hacked. BetUS, however, has been in business for over 30 years. Future bets are paying out in the thousands, and if you act right now, you can still bet on the biggest games in sports. Visit BetUS.com, or you can click the link at nessp.info. BetUS, check it out and bet responsibly. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at thecleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com.
Look, I can't help but think that now might be a good time for a little fire and ice.
Please, do not know it's ever a good time for fire and ice.
What happens when you mix fire and ice?
Warm water, baby.
It's bubbling, baby. Warm water. Warm water.
It is time for a little fire and ice. Mike Tipton, Brandon, the Iceman Cohn, coming at you over here at Buffalo Wild Wings, 655 Sunland Park Drive on the west side of El Paso. Brandon, you already know about all the specials. We're going to talk about your trip, if it was a great trip, if it was a bad trip. Was it just a mediocre trip? We're all going to find out in just a little bit. We're going to talk about the Lakers, all the stuff that's surrounding the NBA playoffs right now. We've got Major League Baseball on TV over here. The Yankees always seem to be on TV whenever we come over here to Buffalo Wild Wings. Of course, we got our guy Daver hanging out with us. The boys are over here as well. Thank you to the people that are tuning in, whether you're doing that on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever it is that you are tuning in. Tommy Cananza already saying, welcome back, Brandon. Let the people know what the specials are over here.
Okay, I appreciate that, Tommy. Thank you. $4 house beer, Wild Herd, $5 Coors Light, $6 Kona, Big Wave Drafts, and Tall, $4 Jameson. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. New sandwiches, chicken parm melt, the beer cheese cheesecake, we've had that one. The beer cheese chicken cheesesteak, we've had that one. Check this out, Monday through Thursday, all-you-can-eat wings. That's a phenomenal deal. $24.99 bone-in. Prices include fries, $19.99 for the boneless shtick. Start with 10 wings and refills of 6 wings until the 26th of next month. Oh, my goodness. And those, folks, are your specials here at Buffalo Wild Wings on Sunland Park Drive.
And of course, you already know, like we got disappointed a little bit whenever we figured out that the all you could eat wings was Monday through Thursday.
Yes.
It felt like they knew we were coming
Yes,
for
they
them.
did.
And they were
Yes,
like, we can't afford to stay in business if these two guys
Yeah.
coming around with the boneless wings.
Yeah, they got smart because they knew we would be here on Saturdays. We'd be putting them in our pockets and whatnot. And, they're like, these guys are 6 wings a refill. We should make it 2 wings per refill with these big fellas. But you know what? It's a good shtick. You got to come take advantage of it. And, UFC here all the time. Big fights coming up. Big card next week. And, they always have specials as well then.
Okay, so you were out of town last week because you as a teacher, you're a great teacher, a great educator.
Thank you.
You were doing some UIL competitions in Lubbock. Tell us about that trip.
Well, so it's my UIL speech and debate team from Austin High School, and they're a bunch of great kids. We advanced to regional competition at Texas Tech University, and I congratulate my kids. We competed in Lincoln Douglas debate and informative and persuasive speaking. We got there and we competed against a lot of great 4A schools, and we you got to give the kids credit for advancing. We didn't make it to state at UT Austin, but we at least got there. Trip was interesting to say the least. That's the understatement of the year. En route to Lubbock, we had a few issues with the bus. That was fun. The bus made it to about Guadalupe Pass National Park and then conked out, and then we had to wait for a replacement for about 5 hours. But the guy got lost coming up there, and the good thing is when you're stuck in paradise, it could be worse, right? We were at the national park and looking around, and it's a beautiful place, and it's not but an hour and a half from here. So long story short, we got there a little late, but we did get there. And coming back, the air conditioning was a little kaput, so it was like a sauna. But other than that, I made it back in one piece to continue our wonderful show. And look, it's about the kids. The kids, it's a thrill to see them enjoy themselves. And I'm just always, it's an honor to be able to coach them at Texas Tech University in that competition.
Shout out to Vanessa Villarreal Romero, who is tuned in over on Facebook right now watching the show as well. So I've been a part of some UIL competitions, having to judge, doing some of that stuff in my former life as a teacher, doing all that, but it was audio video stuff that I was doing, right?
Sure.
Speech and debate. How do y'all fare? What's it like going through all that stuff? What do the kids have to do to prep for all that?
Yeah, there's a lot of prep that's involved. We really start prepping throughout the school year. First of all, you have to recruit your teams. You have to make sure they're academically eligible. Lincoln Douglas debate, they don't give you the topic until January, and basically it's 1 against 1. So you have to have them write their for and against speeches. Each round consists of a for, against, then you have counter arguments, rebuttals, and really you have to get them ready to become successful debaters. Then there's the likes of informative and persuasive speaking, where the kids they cannot use the internet. They can only use their desktops. They have to save current event articles to use for research. They get 5 topics to choose from. They're all mostly politically based around the world. They choose the one that they feel the most comfortable with, and they have 30 minutes to prepare up to 7-minute speech. I tell them it's like a 5-paragraph essay in your head. It's an intro, body, conclusion with sources. Start off with a hook, start off with a catchphrase, tell a personal story, get them interested, and then you do your little subtopics in your body. And ultimately, they're able to use a note card. That's it for their actual speech. And then we do prose and poetry, where the kids pretty much act out poems they've selected, and or prose is short stories. So these kids are talented, man. It's really nice to see all the talent and all the desire that these kids have to succeed and be future business leaders of America. And, man, I'll tell you what, these are amazing kids. They really impress me because it's not easy to get up in front of a judge and or other individuals and perform, and they do really well.
Unless it's us, in which case we are always our little performing monkey selves.
Yeah, right?
Dance, puppet, dance.
You're the monkey here,
That's problematic. Augustine Pimentel saying, what's up, people? What's up, Augustine? Hope you're having yourself a fantastic day. Brandon, we are in the midst of the NBA's first round. The LA Lakers got unceremoniously dumped.
You were right.
Luka Doncic got sent home. That big basketball jar of mayonnaise, no longer playing basketball alongside the eldest man in the world, LeBron James, flopping all over the place. I'm not sure if you saw the story last night or not, that LeBron James had a strained meniscus or a strained MCL following the collision he had with just the massive, made out of concrete, Dante DiVincenzo, You think Dante DiVincenzo, you think that dude is just an Adonis.
Yeah.
LeBron runs into him, flops onto the floor, onto the floor. I don't want to, taint the jury here. LeBron falls on the floor, holds his knee for about 35 seconds, gets up, walks off the court. He's perfectly fine because he stays in the game.
Right.
Doesn't it just feel like excuse making for the Lakers right now? Like
Sure.
LeBron's like, oh, look, man, my knee was hurt.
My neck. My back, yeah,
my neck
and my back, and then some, right? But I mean, it's always something with him. He's probably one of the greatest floppers in NBA history, and I mean, look, they got outclassed. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it was really never a series, and I think it just proves one thing. And obviously, they need something else to maybe it's a good center. They need something to be able to get to that next level. But again, it proves that you try to get that super team. Nowadays, it's not as effective as it used to be, especially combining those superstars for a variety of reasons. I mean, if you don't have the chemistry, no matter who you bring on board, it doesn't matter. You're not going to get to the next round.
Did you see J.J. Redick's press conference? J.J. Redick, the head coach of the L.A. Lakers, his press conference comes out yesterday, and one of the first things he's asked is, how can the Lakers get back to being a championship contending team? And his answer was, they need to make sure that they are in championship shape. Like physical shape.
Yeah.
Luka Doncic has been there since February.
Yes.
And now this is the second team that's calling him out for being a big, fat fudge out of shape.
Yeah, he likes to butter his bacon, doesn't he? I mean, I love Luka Doncic. I've always been a Doncic fan, and I mean, obviously there's no price you can put on being in basketball shape. There's regular season shape and postseason shape. So there's a lot of different things to look at and perspectives to look at. I mean, does he need to get in better shape for them to accomplish more? I mean, it wouldn't hurt. But again, this team is definitely missing something. I mean, that, and they have a 90-year-old man in LeBron James playing, who's literally, he's still a great player. Is he still the best player in the NBA? I mean, I don't know. That's questionable. He's one of the best ever. But nowadays, you could argue that he's definitely not with his age and then, all this flopping and whatnot.
But they also put some blame on the coaches for not allowing LeBron to take a few 5-minute breaks when needed. That they had. When they had enough margin, they should have substituted some of their other players to give Braun the resting time that he needed.
And, okay, first off, before I get to that, shout out to Imelda Katakosa, who's tuned in over on Facebook watching right now as well. I get it, because there is some onus on J.J. Redick for, playing the same lineup 40 minutes at a time, the entire second half of the game, not making very many substitutions. You have to take into consideration that LeBron James is, even though he's 40 and we're all older than him, he is geriatric for basketball.
Sure.
Right? Like, he cannot be out there that amount of time. You saw him in the fourth quarter of both those games. He did what LeBron James doesn't really do that often, at least not since his younger days with Cleveland, where he just disappeared. Mm-hmm. He wasn't there. On defense, it was okay, but on offense, he couldn't buy a shot if he had $1 million per bucket, right? Like, it just wasn't falling for LeBron James. He couldn't run. You can see, like, the bigger fellows outrunning LeBron James as he's trying to get down the court, rather, because he just didn't have it at that point in time. It is on J.J. Redick, right? Like, it all kind of mixes up, because J.J. Redick can call out Luka all he wants, like, oh, look at you big fat F word. Like, maybe you need to be in shape a little bit. But instead, it's, oh, man, like, you guys couldn't play the whole second half without any rest at all? Oh, man, look at how out of shape you guys are. Don't look at me making a bad coaching decision. Look at how bad out of shape you guys are.
Yeah, you're all schmuck. It also deals with coaching as well. You're one of the reasons why they lost, and you may not want to admit to it, but I mean, the people they put enough emphasis on how bad coaching leads to ultimately bad decisions and, of course, bad outcomes. And I mean, look, this is a new experience for him, obviously, and I mean, he also got outcoached without question. Now, 9 times out of 10, the T-Wolves are definitely the better squad. No doubt. Okay. So even if you're not out coach, you're still going to lose that series, but you could be more competitive. Maybe you lose 4-2, 4-3, whatever, but not lose, 4-1. That was a bit of a
gentleman's sweep.
It was, yes.
And even in those, so it winds up being 1-1, right? Lakers split at home at the beginning of the series. And then it winds up being a 3-0 series after that. And you could look at those games, and nowhere in those games did you feel like Minnesota was in trouble. Nowhere in those games did you feel like Minnesota wasn't going to win those games. You saw LeBron and Luka trying to do all they could, but the supporting cast that surrounds the LA Lakers, I said it when the trade was made. I have reiterated it 1,000 times since then. This is not a good team. And in basketball, you need a solid team to win a championship. You can have 2 superstars, but what's built around those superstars needs to be adequate. And right now, what the LA Lakers have is me, you, and Daver surrounding LeBron James and Luka. Right? Like, we can go in there and lose 3 or 4 games to 1.
Yes.
Like, we do the sun shines on the dog's ass every now and then.
Yeah.
I'll be that dog's ass. I'll drop 30 on you.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be the day that we win a game.
Yeah.
But what the Lakers have right now, and this is what I said about whenever the trade was made, they have a problem. They don't have any draft capital until 2029 because of all the bad trades they've made. They don't have any real money that they can move around to go and get free agents now. And of course, we know the salary cap is a farce, whatever, especially if you want to pay the luxury tax on that. But if you're the Buss family, do you want to pay over the luxury tax to get into the sweepstakes of maybe getting a Giannis Antetokounmpo? What can you trade to get a Giannis Antetokounmpo? Because we can all say, with Milwaukee being unceremoniously disbanded from the playoffs, that he probably wants out, and they need to rebuild in Milwaukee. There is no quick fix for the LA Lakers right here, and I think what they need to do is embrace the suck and just completely rebuild. Get rid of Braun. If you want to keep Luka, maybe, but you're going to wind up paying him $300 million for a guy that you can't trust is going to be in shape.
I mean, I still love Luka. Again, I've said this before, and I'll continue to say it. He's a once-in-a-generation player. Even a Luka that's not in great shape is still damn better than a lot of other players in the league. So, to me, there's no way you get rid of Luka. LeBron is on a gravy train. I mean, he's got, maybe 1 or 2 years left. I mean, I feel that, there can be chemistry here. And again, really, it was a very small sample size. I mean, you only had, a couple months to kind of put something together, and they still ended up as the 3 seed in the West. So I feel that, Redick gets more experience. They make a couple offseason moves. I feel this team could still be competitive. I still think the West is wide open. It really is. I mean, look at, Houston now. They've tied with Golden State after Golden State had that commanding 3-1 lead. Long story short, anybody can win the West. I mean, there's no one dominant team in the West. So you just keep on keeping on if you're the Lakers and kind of use the last gas that you have out of LeBron and see what you can do there.
Tommy Canonsa going on to say they need defense because defense wins championships.
No one plays
At
defense.
At least that's what he heard.
Well,
because of
no one plays defense in the NBA anymore. And then, I can't think of the last great defensive team in the NBA. It's been how long? Who knows, right?
He goes on to say, we want Luka's fat ass back in Dallas. We don't care. 300, 400, 500 pounds. We still want Luka.
Yeah, I bet you guys do want his fat ass back in Dallas over AD especially.
Who would you
AD's
rather
made of
have?
glass.
The guy made out of glass or the fat ass?
The fat ass. The fat ass at least plays.
At least he shows up.
The fat ass shows up. The guy made out of glass is breaking left and right all the time. They'll give you 3 games a year.
Augustine Pimentel saying, yes, the lineup. But then who do you play? LeBron not just disappeared, but was out of it. You can tell LeBron it wasn't the same. And that's what happens at 40 years old.
He's long in the tooth.
You don't want to be the guy carrying the franchise in the playoffs.
That's why you need good role players.
Exactly. Augustine saying again, and Luka, I've said it and I'll say it again, Brandon needs to give Luka the diet that he needs. And then J.J. Redick didn't get out-coached. He got out-aged, out-dieted, and out-benched.
Again, you got to give the guy at least a little bit of an opportunity. It was his first year there. I mean, coaching in the NBA, that's a different animal, and especially the pressure that comes with coaching one of the greatest franchises in sports history. So
Augustine going on to say Brandon got rid of his fat ass. Why can't Luka do it?
Well, that's very true. It's difficult. It wasn't easy. You know what I mean?
The Iceman melted.
The Iceman's trying to melt.
So we can say with the Lakers, they've got some problems. The Minnesota Timberwolves, as awesome of a story as it was for me to be right. I love whenever I'm right.
You were. I disagreed with you, but you were right.
As much as I love being right, the Minnesota Timberwolves are not a team that I think either one of us are going to say is going to win the championship this year.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, there's much better teams in the NBA, but they'll make a run. I mean, look, they won a round. That's good.
Out of all the teams that remain in the NBA playoffs, and we'll talk about Oklahoma City Thunder, the way they dismantled the Memphis Grizzlies, winning those games by an average of 19 points a game. None of those games were even close. Then looking at, of course, Minnesota moving on, and the 4 teams that we have remaining right now that are all going to go to a Game 7, the LA Clippers and the Denver Nuggets, Jokic versus Kawhi. That, to me, I told you from the beginning, I thought that was going to be a great series. That's been so much fun to watch. Those two teams are so evenly matched. Yeah. And then, of course, you have in the Western Conference as well, another two teams that are going to be going to Game 7, the Golden State Warriors and their championship pedigree, taking on the Houston Rockets. This young Houston Rockets team showing that they can be scrappy.
We talked about it. We talked about it, prior to the postseason beginning a couple weeks ago. And, you think, hey, Golden State's Golden State, and they have that championship pedigree, and, the coach, and, obviously one of the greatest shooters in NBA history. But how about Houston? I mean, they forced a Game 7, and it's in Houston. I like Houston's chances in this series in H-Town.
And that's where I think we're going to disagree. I think the moment, right? And again, like me, and basketball to me is the one sport where history constantly repeats itself. It's constant the way that history is in basketball. The young team doesn't win a Game 7. The championship caliber team with all the history, all the pedigree, they normally win a Game 7. Doesn't matter if it's on the road or at the home, the team with most experience is ultimately going to win that game. What I think is going to happen is that Golden State's going to come out with, again, all that championship background, throwing haymakers. And if Steph Curry starts knocking down some threes early in the first quarter, again, we're going to talk about it. Houston saw that story growing up. All those young kids saw Steph Curry become the man, because once he starts going, it's unstoppable. Well, I mean, we've seen it. The Olympics. You knew the second Steph Curry had the ball in his hand during the Olympics, it didn't matter who was on him. If it was Wembanyama or anybody else, he was going to make that three-pointer, and he did.
Sure.
Right? Because he turned it on to a different level. If Steph Curry comes out Game 7 and in the first quarter drops 4 or 5 threes, that series is done. Now, obviously, it's a big if, but is it really a big if? Because we've seen Steph Curry do it a ton of times.
No, I mean, Golden State, the elder statesmen, they have the experience over Houston. I just feel that was a deflating Game 6 loss at home, where you should have been able to seal the deal. That's always tough. But I mean, to me, I look at Houston as the hungrier team right now, and that's why I think they're going to advance. And I think you have all that momentum going into that Game 7. I mean, the team that's always come back from that 3-1 deficit obviously has all the momentum, which is what they have right now. People underestimate what confidence can do for you, especially in the postseason. It's going to be a close game. I think Curry's going to do his shtick, but in the end, I think Houston's going to prevail and move on.
Brandon bucking history, saying to himself, it doesn't matter if you're up 3-1, where the team that wins Game 4 to go up 3-1 wins 96% of the time.
Yeah, I know.
Brandon says no to this.
Yeah.
We're going with the 4%.
I know.
Well, as soon as I said that, I could see the wheels turning like, man.
There's a chance. Hey, I'll take 4% over 0%. That's for damn sure.
Hey, there you go. You lose Game 7, you got a 0% chance.
Yeah,
right now, you got a 4% chance. Mm-hmm. I'll take that 4% chance. It means I got something going for me, right? I think that's been such a fun series.
It's great.
Obviously,
great
like you have some personalities in there. Dylan Brooks from Houston isn't going to back down from Draymond Green. I don't know if you saw the play yesterday with Draymond Green. He's lucky he didn't get ejected out of that game, hitting somebody with a hard left hand on the side of the head. It was like, oh, no, it was a screen.
Scoozy. Draymond being Draymond, you mean?
Oh, yeah. Augustine's saying, send me the info, Tipton. I don't know what info he wants. Does he want to join the show? Is that what he's talking about?
Who knows with him? He's a clown. You know that.
And then going on to say 2% milk isn't bad. It's water pretending to be milk.
Pretty much.
That's what it is.
Very watery milk. Almond milk's better.
Okay, so now I'm going to go to the series that I think has been the most fun, right? Like, to me, the Eastern Conference, that's where you saw the haves and the have-nots, right? Boston beating the hell out of Orlando. Milwaukee getting the hell beat out of them by Indiana. Cleveland beating Miami by an average of 30 points per game. The only series where you had 2 losses in back-to-back games by 40 or more points.
Yeah.
And you lost those games at home.
Yes,
that's the craziest thing about it. They had to go on a 5-0 run at the end of the game. Miami did, to not lose by 60. Mm-hmm. It's insane the way that went. And then of course the series, I thought the Pistons were robbed on Sunday. that should have never came down to that, but the Knicks ultimately get the win on the road in Detroit to move on as well. But the series that's been the most fun, the Clippers and the Nuggets.
Yeah.
These teams are so well matched with each other. Zubac's doing a great job on Jokic, but Jokic still does his thing. Aaron Gordon, the way that game ended with the air ball three from Jokic, and Aaron Gordon just gets it and dunks it in, because the rule, I didn't know this about the rule, whenever it came to a dunk and the clock expiring, the ball just has to be through the cylinder. It can still be on your fingers. It's only whenever you shoot it that it has to be off your fingers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why it counts for Aaron Gordon and that dunk that wins Game 4 for the Denver Nuggets. And it's just been a back and forth battle. You're watching two behemoths, two heavyweights, right? Just exchanging blows left and right all over the place. It's been so much fun, and it sucks, Brandon. It sucks that this is a first-round matchup.
Yeah, it should be a conference final matchup. It's one of those matchups where it's a shame somebody has to lose, but someone is going to lose. And, I mean, you know, again, I'm a betting man here and there, and I'm taking the Clippers in a pivotal Game 7 there. And again, it's one of those matchups where you just thankfully that it has been as entertaining as it's been. And that's what you look forward to with the NBA playoffs. That's what makes you want to keep watching. And that's what makes basketball extremely fun, especially with the NBA once we get to this part of the season. And, you know, you just have to be impressed with, you know, again, it's all about the certain matchups. But, you know, the Joker doing what he does. And if Denver loses, boy, you have to feel like a real putz to have gotten rid of your coach, right? I mean, come on now, with 5 games left in the regular season. So I'm one of these people that says that I still feel that LA is going to be victorious. But I mean, again, you're not surprised with whomever wins in this particular series.
Augustine asking, did Brandon just call me a clown? You're mean.
Oh, yeah. Well,
you're a big meanie.
I've called him worse than that before.
So I did share the link out there, Augustine. If you want to click the link, it'll be kind of like our phone line. How long has it been since we've had phone calls come into the show?
It's been a minute, right?
So that'll be kind of like what we can do to try to get some people. Augustine will hang out in the background until we get ready for him to be a part of the show. Now, you were talking about it. The Nuggets once again have that championship pedigree. There's a part of me that wants the LA Clippers to win the championship, just because that franchise has been through so much. Whenever you had the Donald Sterling stuff, they never spent money. This was a franchise that, for as long as I remember, up until the mid-2010s, was a laughing stock of a franchise. And it would just be awesome to see. Like they get rid of Paul George. They move on from that terrible deal. People would have thought they would have been worse. What are you going to get from Kawhi? What are you going to get from James Harden? James Harden, you're in LA and somehow doesn't go to strip clubs anymore. It's insane the way that he does that, and is in better shape, right? Like he got in better shape somehow, James Harden did. And it's just one of those, it would be a great redemption story. And I think that everyone loves a redemption story, and that's really what I'm looking for with this LA Clippers thing.
Yeah,
but then they also have the Denver Nuggets.
Well, of course. I mean, and it would be a great victory to be able to knock off the Denver Nuggets, and that's what would make it all a bit more sweet. But yes, this is an organization that has been traditionally dismal. I mean, obviously they've had their runs in the past, but and oh, by the way, I don't know if you watched that Donald Sterling series on. I think it was.
It was so
Hulu.
good.
It was very well done.
So good.
Very well done series. What was the name of it again? It was like, gosh, it's escaping me right now.
It wasn't Winning Time.
Clipped.
I know that
was
for
it?
sure.
No,
Clipped.
it was Clipped or something like that. But
it was Clipped.
It was a hell of a series. But yes, I mean, overall, I'm would like to see this team do something. And I think if there's any year to make that run to be able to advance to the finals, it would be a year like this where there's not one dominant team in the Western Conference, where really it's as wide open as it could possibly be. So this is their year to hopefully finally shine, yes?
It is their year to hopefully finally shine. It would be awesome to see that. Once again, the redemption story. If you haven't seen Clipped, you got to go and watch Clipped. It was a very well done movie. Augustine has joined us here on the tip line. Join us here on the tip line on Fire and Ice. You like whenever I go to like old school radio?
I do.
Augustine, what's up, buddy?
Hey guys, this is your number one clown coming in, and I just want to ask one question. And this is for general sport. When you have a series this good between, you were talking about Denver and I forgot the other team real quick, but it's been a great series. And does that set way too much high expectations for future series? Because we know there's some dogs coming up. We know Minnesota's going to get trumped in 4 games. So is that a bad thing for the NBA, or more than anything, is that a bad thing for the people actually paying advertising dollars to advertise during NBA games? And that's my question. Have a great day. And your favorite clown is out.
Thank you.
I love that. He's like, I'll hang up and listen.
Yeah,
I love that.
It reminds me of the old days of our radio shtick, right?
It would have been better if it would have been like first time, long time.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. That would have been a great.
You remember those callers? They'll be like, I'm gonna hang up and listen offline.
Yeah,
Remember that?
yeah.
That was always
okay.
fun.
So I'll let you take that. Okay. Now it was a 2-part question. Is it bad for the NBA? Is it good for the NBA? And then of course advertising dollars. I can handle the advertising part if you want to do the
because you're
rest.
as shrewd as it makes. I mean, no, it's not bad for the NBA. It really isn't. I mean, any series that's a great series is good for the NBA. I mean, would you have rather had it happen later in the postseason? Sure, why not? But beggars can't be choosers here. At this point, with the NBA and the ratings and whatever has been going on the last few years, anything is good for the NBA. And I always appreciate a series like this. I mean, with as many rounds as there are, it was bound to come in the first round. That's fine. I feel that, it gets me more intrigued to continue to watch, if nothing else. And so I don't think it's bad for the NBA at all.
The cream always rises to the top. Right, like that's the way it's going to be. Randy Savage taught us that when the cream is always going to rise.
That's right.
To the top, right.
That's right.
So for me, like Minnesota, no matter who they get, which I think is going to be, it's going to be between the Clippers and the Nuggets for whoever Minnesota is going to get. Right, they're going to have to come into this game saying this team just played a 7-game series. We got to rest. We got to do this. Let's hit them with as many haymakers as we possibly can. Right. Let's try to win this series early. And then the Clippers are going to get their sea legs under them and start doing their thing. The Nuggets are going to do the same thing here, no matter who it is. So you're going to have a back and forth here. Very rarely do you have a Western Conference or an Eastern Conference Finals where someone gets swept. Even in the NBA Finals, it's very rare that you have someone get swept or even end in a gentleman's sweep in 5 games, right? Yeah. It's so rare that happens. Now, Augustine, you want to talk about advertiser dollars. Now, that's where I can get some information here for you. All of this stuff right here, and this is what the NBA is trying to catch up to the NFL about, right? If you notice, the NBA Finals start on a specific day. It doesn't matter how many games it took you to get there. It starts on a specific day, a la the Super Bowl, right? The thing that sucks is the advertisers are going to get theirs no matter what. They get minimum 4 games, even if it winds up being a sweep. Do they want it to be a sweep? No, but they've already paid in advertising. The tickets have already been sold. And even on the ticket, whenever you buy the ticket, if you want to get, game 7 of the NBA Finals because you think it's going to go 7, if you got that ticket, it says, we'll be refunded partially because this is a business at the end of the day. Season ticket holders get the first crack at it, all that good stuff, right? So to the NBA, it doesn't matter. They're going to have advertising dollars there no matter what. It's not like you're paying by a per-game basis. You paid at the beginning of the season for everything that you're dealing with right here. You can see how excited I get talking about this stuff. This is your shtick. But for me, whenever you look at the business aspect of it, it doesn't matter to the NBA. But they're going to get a good series out of it no matter what, because it doesn't matter who comes out of the West. It doesn't matter who comes out of the East. You look at these teams, and they're all so evenly matched. Even Oklahoma City, the way that they absolutely destroyed the Memphis Grizzlies. If they were to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers, who once again obliterated by 30 points a game the Miami Heat, you're talking about the 2 best teams meeting up against each other, and they're just going to slug one out. And it would be so much fun for people to watch.
It really would be. It really would be. I mean, again, there's certain series that you want to see, you hope to see. And, I mean, you sometimes feel that there's going to be ultimately things that do affect the advertisers. But let me tell you something. Don't forget, this is, a gazillion-dollar industry, and they're always going to find their little loopholes in terms of how they're making their money. So, I mean, they're not going to be hurting any way, shape, or form. That's the bottom line.
And that's the thing, right? Like, all the NBA wants is the best team to win a championship, right? Because if there were injuries, anything like that, like whenever the Raptors won their championship, there was so many questions that surrounded that, because you had the what if. What if Kevin Durant didn't go out with a ruptured Achilles? What if Klay Thompson didn't go out with a ruptured ACL? There was a lot of what if right there for that specific series. The NBA just wants these players and these teams to get there healthy, in the season healthy, crown a champion, and hopefully all of us will be excited with the series that happens. I will say the Clippers Nuggets series has kind of overshadowed the rest of the first round matchups, but it's because the first round you have a lot of bad teams playing against the good teams. The 1 versus 8 matchup is supposed to be a patsy getting in there and getting slapped around, right? Like, that's what it's supposed to be. Same thing 2-7. That's why it's surprising that you have a 7 seed in the Golden State Warriors, taking the 2-seed Houston Rockets all the way to a Game 7 here, right? And that's the championship pedigree versus the young and up-and-coming team. We get to watch that play out in real time. That's what I love about the NBA playoffs, about even the Stanley Cup playoff, is ultimately at the end of the day, the better team's going to win.
Yeah,
it's not a one-game sample.
Yeah, it isn't, and I've never been big on seeding, especially when it comes to the NBA playoffs. And then it's just, to me, you cannot put that much on the seeds. I mean, it's about who has the better players, who has more experience, who's been to the postseason more often, who has the better coaching, who plays just a smidget more of defense, whatever. Eat all of the above. Long story short, I give a shit if you're the 8 seed, the 1 seed. Usually the better team will prevail. And as you previously noted, it doesn't matter where the hell the game takes place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Home court advantage is a real thing unless you have a championship caliber team. Right? Like that's what we got to look at. Got to give a shout out to the Cricket Commish from Chicago Clubhouse Sports for giving us some love here on Fire and Ice, saying, "What's up, Money Mike and guest? This is the first time you tuned in. This is Brandon, the Iceman Cohn, the one and only Brandon, the Iceman Cohn." And then, of course, giving some love to the comment section over on YouTube. Love the growth that we are getting over on YouTube as well. Now, Brandon, we are live over here at Buffalo Wild Wings, 655 Sunland Park Drive on the west side of El Paso. Tell everybody what they can expect if they came out here to Buffalo Wild Wings.
All right, specials: $4 house beer, Wild Herd, $5 Coors Light, $6 Kona Big Wave drafts, and tall, $4 Jameson. Happy hours Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. Your new sandwiches: the chicken parm melt, phenomenal. Beer cheese cheesesteak, beer cheese chicken cheesesteak, both very, very good, folks. Check this out: Monday through Thursday, all you can eat wings, $24.99 for bone-in, $19.99 for boneless. Tip and I would put them out of business. The price does include fries. Oh, their fries are so delicious here. Starting with 10 wings and refills for the fat guys, only at 6 wings a piece. That's it. All the way until June the 26th. There you go. Those are the specials. That was pretty funny.
For all the fat guys out there.
Fat guys, you get 6 wings per refill. So,
look,
if it were Daver, he'd order 1 refill. But not us, though, right?
Not us, no. But you know what? I'm 6'3", 225.
Yes, soaking wet. So,
us stopping at 1 refill is about as delusional as being 6'3", 224.
Exactly.
Right? Like that's about what that is right there.
It doesn't exist.
No, not at all. not for some people.
We're the reason why they put a cap on this.
Yeah. It was supposed to be Monday through Sunday, but instead they saw the two of us. We're like, no.
Wait a minute. These guys are doing the show here permanently.
We got to dial it back
Thursday. They ain't going to be here during the week, thank God.
But we got to come. Like one of these days during the week, the 3 of us, we got to get together, show up to Buffalo Wild Wings, and put them out of business.
Just say when. Just say when.
Monday.
Yeah, sounds good to me,
Augustine Pimentel saying, we need just the tip to make an appearance. That's a segment that happens on the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. I'll play it if you want me to play it, Brandon.
Do it.
And then what time is that Endless Wing special? It is Monday through Thursday.
It's Monday through Thursday, all day,
long.
man. All day, all night, until they're open, the wee hours there.
Up until June 26th.
June 26th,
A little under 2 months to come over here, take advantage of that special.
Includes unlimited fries.
Daver, you last week had a phenomenal salad. Tell me about that salad.
Oh, it's wonderful. It was the barbecue chicken salad, and it was quite filling, and they didn't shy away from the portion too.
And the burgers are good here too, right?
Nice and juicy.
You said they were delicious.
Yes.
Just like you like them, nice and juicy.
Oh, yeah.
Just like you like them, nice and juicy, just the way I like it with just the tip.
I just want to put the tip in.
It's time for
Just the Tip.
That would make me uncomfortable.
Promise that it ain't too much, but just enough. Just a tip. Just a tip.
Just the tip? Just the tip.
It's time for Just the Tip.
Just the Tip is brought to you by www.myhappynuts.com. Use promo code Mike Tipton with www.myhappynuts.com. It's a real product, guys. Don't think of this as satirical, nothing like that. The summer's coming up. You don't want swamp ass. It's getting hotter. That means things in your body are getting hotter. Get that comfort cream, the anti-chafe stick, www.myhappynuts.com. Use promo code Mike Tipton. Save at checkout on all your male grooming needs.
I love your Happy Nuts. I really, really love your Happy Nuts. I just want you to know that. I really do. That's great.
Augustine Pimentel saying it should be, may I have 2 hours of wings, please? 2 hours of wings, sir.
Yeah. They would ban you. There would be your picture on the wall with an X on it if you did that.
Augustine also asking, when are we going to go? You know what? That's what we should do. We should find out when we can have a group outing, get some of the people that support the show.
Yeah.
All of us come out here to Buffalo Wild Wings on the west side of El Paso, 655 Sunland Park Drive. Shout out to Kalani, our waitress today, and of course,
great.
Mike, the GM over here, Samantha as well.
I say we do it once school ends. It goes till June 26th, then I'll be out. I'll have the days, and June 6th from on. Let's do it.
There we go.
The month of June,
Every day.
Every day, Cohn is here doing the boneless and bone-in wings, and we don't ever want him back again.
Tommy Cananza's mouth watering with those bone-in wings is what he's saying right now. Augustine Pimentel saying solo la puntita, and then the boneless wings are just chicken nuggets, just saying. Tommy Cananza is on me with this boneless wings thing.
Well, the bone definitely gives it more flavor. I mean, there's one thing that I can say. I'm not against boneless wings, okay? I've always liked boneless wings as well. But the bone gives it more flavor, and I know how much you like the bone. So that's the bottom line here. You know what I mean? I really do. So it's just one of those things where I couldn't help it. I apologize. At least he didn't slam the headset down, right?
Yes.
He gets very excited to order, doesn't he?
I saw that reaction right there should answer Augustine's question.
Yes.
Augustine's question here is she hot?
It was very, very nice lady.
I'll let y'all decide on that one. There's an age limit for me.
Yeah. I just said she's a good server, but good job. Thank you. You did. Yeah, I can still hear. Thank
yes,
God.
there we go. Yes, thank you so much for that. Augustine,
what did you get this time? That a boy.
There he goes. He went and he got the salad. Augustine Pimentel saying, "Hey, Happy Nuts is extra nuts."
Well, we know how much he likes nuts. That's for sure. He likes all nuts.
Tommy Carranza asking, "I love to bone. I mean the bone."
Yeah.
Tommy, we spoke about this. He sent me a meme the other day on Facebook Messenger. Tommy, I got to give you my number. I forgot that I was supposed to give him my number. He got jealous because Augustine has my number and he doesn't. So I got to make sure I give him my number. But he sent me a meme the other day, and it was talking about how zesty. You know what zesty means?
Yes, of course.
People who eat boneless wings like I do, because I feel like you get more meat with the boneless wings.
Sure.
That's coming from the meat slinger, baby. Now, he was talking about how much he just loves that thick, juicy bone in his mouth.
Yeah,
and I was like, guy, that's a little.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah,
this is a family show.
It is a family show.
This is a family show.
We've only dropped the F-bomb twice here.
Yeah, that's not bad either.
Fucking A.
And told how many shitty jokes?
I can always tell whenever Daver's like, just change the subject, guys.
Yeah. Daver goes to order another salad. He's, there she is. Our server's here. He runs away.
Yes, there it is. Tommy Canazza giving us some laughing emojis as well. I got a little bit of love. Jinder actually got a little bit of love making his appearance here on the show, walking around unsupervised. Jericho doing a good job, though. Jericho being a great big brother on this. Now, Brandon, we spoke a little bit about the NBA. We spoke a little bit about what you have to do with debate stuff. We haven't gotten to talk any at all, you and I, about the NFL draft. Just real quick, your thoughts on, one, Shedeur Sanders and the drop that he had from being the number one overall quarterback to Mel Kiper Jr. to being drafted in the 5th round, and then coming out and saying his get back to the NFL is, I'm not going to sell the jersey on NFL.com. I'm going to sell my own jersey on my own website.
Well, that's what happens when you get your number retired, I mean, what can I say? Look.
We're going 13 and 12.
I mean, you ain't done shit yet. That's all I have to say. You've done absolutely nothing yet. And, clearly, I hate to say it, but I think he was blackballed. I mean, there's a reason why. Why do you go in the 5th round? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I feel that he's a good enough quarterback to at least gone in within the first few rounds. I feel that Dion had rubbed some people the wrong way, and I feel that they talk a lot. And there's no other excuse as to why he went so low. I mean, I was astonished the fact that he went in the 5th round, and Cleveland was grinning from ear to ear. But there had to be a reason why.
After they drafted Dylan Gabriel right before that.
I mean, again, you look at the quarterbacks, and not to say they won't be better, and not to say he won't be a bust, because you just never know what's going to happen at the next level once you get to that next level. But it's unacceptable that he went that low, or it was just unheard of. And I mean, I didn't understand. But again, there's a certain type of arrogance to him. There's a certain type of Deion-esque to him, and that may rub people the wrong way. And there's a reason why he got drafted so low.
So I love that you're coming with us, and this is what makes us fire and ice, right? Like, you always give me the counter argument to what I'm going to say.
Sure.
And that's always a fun time. I think what we've agreed upon is that food is good,
yeah,
and so is beer.
Yes.
And then other than that, it's been an argument about mostly everything else. So I will counter you with, did you hear what happened in the interviews? Because last week, David and I didn't get to talk about this. I did some research. I found out what happened. He walks into the New York Giants interview with the big headphones on, like the Beats headphones on, has them around his neck, playing music as loud as it can possibly be, with an entourage of 25 people. Wouldn't turn the music off while he was being interviewed. Showed up in like Crocs and socks and stuff like that. And whenever he was asked, where do you see yourself in 5 years, said, I'm going to be the mayor of New York City.
Yeah,
right.
well.
I get a level of confidence. But to have an entourage there strictly to laugh at your cheesy ass joke is one that's such a level of immaturity. And then we talk about the other side of the coin. People keep forgetting about Shiloh Sanders, who is also an undrafted free agent, who is now going to be in the NFL as well. Deion's other son, right? Shiloh, just 3 weeks ago, filed for bankruptcy. I mean, we're talking about two kids that are so highly immature that now being a fifth-round pick, if Shedeur Sanders doesn't have it, whatever it is, could be out of the league next year because a fifth-round pick is expendable.
Absolutely. Very expendable. And again, you should never be that cocky. You should never be. I don't care whose kid you are. I don't care what you accomplish in college. You ain't nothing. That's all I got to say is you ain't nothing. I don't care if you're the number 1 overall pick. How many busts have we seen? Okay, until you show that you can be extremely successful at that next level, then you could start wearing your damn headphones and your Crocs and whatever. But you need to be, A, mature, and B, you need to incorporate professionalism. And I'm not going to lie, it's what a lot of these kids don't have today is the great communication skills. You are never better than anyone else. I don't give two craps who the hell you are or how famous you think you're going to be. Until you show me something at the next level, then you want to be a little bit of arrogant, but you nothing yet. That's all I have to say.
Tommy Canonsa going on to say that the Browns owner, Jimmy Haslam, had to force the GM to draft Shedeur Sanders at that in the 5th round. Augustine Pimentel saying it wasn't just the arrogance. In case you don't know, everyone's favorite number 47 had put out a tweet being like, look, if you don't draft Shedeur, it's a huge mistake. Huge. Some are saying, some have said, the best quarterback of all time.
Yeah, he's going to be phenomenal. He really is. You must draft him sooner.
And Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, is one of the biggest donors to 47. So it does kind of seem like maybe it went that way, like, oh, God, I want to make him happy. Oh. like that's kind of the way that Jimmy Haslam was doing.
That's funny.
So
like Mickey Mouse.
Oh, boy.
That's pretty funny. I like that.
That hurts my throat to do that.
That's very good. That's a good impersonation. I like that.
But Jimmy Haslam going out and doing his best to just satisfy 47. That's what makes a lot of people think that this is what made the Browns, after drafting Dylan Gabriel, a quarterback, the Browns had a great draft. Like let's not forget, the Browns fleeced. They robbed the Jacksonville Jaguars in broad daylight for the trade of Travis Hunter, right? Getting the number 5 overall pick, number 36 overall, number 136, and a first-round draft pick next year from the Jacksonville Jaguars for Travis Hunter. They get themselves Mason Graham to help out their defensive line. Now you have more depth on the defensive line to help out Myles Garrett. And that's what they've got to do, right? They've got to be the defensive team because they don't have the weapons to be the offensive team in the AFC North. They had a great draft. And then comes, well, in the 5th round, why not take a flyer on Shedeur Sanders? Now we have 5 quarterbacks in the quarterback room because we have Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
All of them on the roster here When you got 5 quarterbacks, Brandon, you ain't got one.
No, you don't. That's the truth. And again, I personally don't feel it had anything to do with 47. I mean, I'm just one of these things that say that they really, really needed a good quarterback. And I mean, that's why you went, overcommitted to some of these guys. And I mean, look, the fact is he's still there miraculously, which nobody saw at that particular moment. So as far as I'm concerned, if I'm a GM, I'm like, hey, I can't believe this guy fell to us in the 5th round. We're taking him.
Tommy Cananza saying his grandson stopped what he was doing, came to look at his phone because he thought that Tommy Cananza was watching Mickey Mouse. Oh, hey, Pluto.
That's great.
I'm just going to keep doing that one. It is creepy whenever you see someone the size of me.
Sure.
With like my natural voice to go that high in an octave.
Yes,
it hurts like hell.
I really love it. That's great. That's a wonderful, wonderful accent you got there.
The crooked commish going on to say that's smart of Jimmy Haslam. Better to be with the bully instead of being bullied. Shake my damn head.
Yeah.
It kind of feels that way sometimes, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. I mean, look again.
That's right.
For his sake, let's hope it works out. For their sake, let's hope it works out. I mean, again, that's nothing like spending hardly anything on a bus, right? Silver lining for them.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? So like, if Shador does pan out. Oh,
you're a genius.
Right?
You got gold in the 5th round. You got another Brady. Who knows? I mean,
and if he doesn't pan out, it was only a 5th round pick.
Only a 5th round pick. You spent hardly anything. You didn't spend anything.
I was surprised that the Dallas Cowboys didn't take him in like either the 4th or the 5th round, because right then is whenever if he is what Mel Kiper says he is, if he is the quarterback that you think he is, if he is half the quarterback that he showed in college, then he's much better than a 4th or a 5th round pick.
Absolutely.
So now you're getting value out of it. But if he's not, now it's not so much of a loss.
Right.
It's if he was a bust as a number, the 1st round or 2nd round pick, then it hurts your franchise.
Oh yeah.
5th round pick, who cares?
Yeah, no, you're on a gravy train at that point, and ultimately it's no big deal. And you end up spending. What do you spend on him? You spend absolutely nothing on him ultimately.
I'm gonna say like he's probably gonna get a $400,000 contract, somewhere around that, maybe $750,000. I think that's the league minimum. But then he'll get his endorsements because he's Shador Sanders and all that stuff. So maybe it'll work out with him. The thing that I don't think is a smart idea is saying that I'm going to sell my jersey on my website.
That's stupid.
NFL, you're not going to get anything out of this.
Yeah.
The NFL could shut that down in a heartbeat.
Sure.
You know how I know that? You can't buy a Marvin Harrison Jr. jersey still.
Well, there you go.
Because he said, I'm going to sell my own jersey.
Well, there you go.
And the NFL said, really? Because you kind of need our logo to sell that.
Right. Yes, you do.
You need our logo and our team.
Dude, you need both. You need all of the above. Yeah, absolutely. No, and then, again, that's just arrogance, man. I mean, I just can't stand cockiness and arrogance. I'm sorry. It's uncalled for. It really is uncalled for.
Also, what a huge just waving your dick around.
Yeah.
If that truly is the case of I'm going to walk into a job interview with my headphones on blaring.
Stupid, man. That's just so immature.
But again, like that, to me, that's not enough to justify falling down to the 5th round.
It's never a justification. But like I said, something happened. Something happened behind the scenes that we didn't see. And I mean, he's Deion's kid. And we know the way Deion can be at times is, he can really rub people the wrong way, unfortunately. And that's, to me, why they drafted him so far down the ladder there.
And that is Brandon the Iceman Cohn. I am Mike Tipton. We are live over here at Buffalo Wild Wings, 655 Sunland Park Drive on the west side of El Paso. Brandon, let everyone know what the specials are one more time.
We have the $4 house beer, the Wild Herd, the $5 Coors Light, $4 Jameson, $6 Kona Big Wave Drafts and Tall. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. The new sandwiches, the chicken parm melt, beer cheese cheesesteak, beer cheese chicken cheesesteak, Monday through Thursday. All you can eat bone-in wings, $24.99, boneless for $19.99, including fries. Starts with 10 refills at 6 until 6/26, June 26th, they have that deal too. Wow. That's
almost 2 months.
Almost 2 months, yeah.
Almost 2 months. I've got my beer. You already saw me over here with the Kona Big Wave. It is an absolutely delicious beer. Some would say it was the best beer of all time. Some are saying very smart people. Very smart people are saying. I need to stop that before I get deported. Nonetheless, everyone, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. What a way to end the show. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in to Fire and Ice. We will see you all next week. Brandon, any parting words? Like, save the show.
Yeah,
You're a pro at this. Save the show.
I do my best, you know. I mean, I just want to hide under the table at this point. We love you, though. You're a good man with a knife and a fork.
I bet you want to hide it.
Yeah, you damn right
We'll see
I
y'all
do.
next week,
Shut
everybody.
the hell up. That's a damn